A flesh-eating sea sponge, a UFO at the bottom of the ocean, and sea serpents galore. These are disturbing ocean discoveries experts fear. In 2011, a Swedish deep-sea diving team, calling themselves Ocean X, was on a mission to find a shipwreck in the northern Baltic Sea, and they found something. It just wasn't a shipwreck, at least not the type of ship they'd been expecting to find. They took a sonar image of an object sitting about 90 meters or 295 feet beneath the surface. The object appeared to be roughly 60 meters or 197 feet in diameter. Whatever this object was, it did not look natural. But it didn't look like a human made it either. It was strange, yet familiar. It looked a lot like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. This, of course, caught the attention of tabloids and UFO fanatics, and wild theories started spreading about a crashed alien spacecraft. Some also thought it could be a remnant of an ancient submerged civilization, but scientists took a look at it and they claimed it was probably just a natural formation. Some people think this theory makes sense, but others think it just looks too strange to have been formed from some natural erosion. When you think of a sea sponge, you probably picture something harmless and soft, like Patrick from SpongeBob, but in 2014, scientists discovered a terrifying new side to sea sponges off the coast of California. They found not one, but 4 new species of sponges living near undersea volcanoes and deep sea vents, and these sponges weren't just filter feeding like regular sponges. These ones were carnivorous. They've developed a brutal way of catching their food. They use tiny hooks to trap small creatures that swim by. It's hard to imagine something so seemingly harmless could be a predator, but here we are. In 2022, an incredible discovery was made off the coast of Virginia, the wreck of a German World War I U-Boat. This sub had sunk 4 years after the war ended in 1922. It had been captured by the Allies after the war and was on its way to the US for inspection when it was deemed useless and sent out to sea with explosive charges. They were basically throwing the ship in the trash by blowing it up at sea. I wish I could get rid of all my trash that way, just explode it. Well, obviously no one thought they'd ever be seeing this ship again, especially since it was believed to have sunk deeper than any diver could reach. But then maritime historian Eric Petkovic and his team of divers, after conducting their search in secret, found it 400 feet beneath the sea. They used old fishermen's records to help pinpoint it. Now let's talk about one of the most terrifying places on Earth, the Challenger Deep. This is the deepest known point of the ocean, located at the southern end of the Mariana Trench and the western Pacific Ocean. The Challenger Deep is over 36,000 feet or 1,972 meters below sea level, and that's deeper than Mount Everest is tall. Only a few explorers have dared to dive down this deep, and one of them is James Cameron. In 2012, he took a specially designed submersible called the Deep Sea Challenger down there. He reached a depth of 35,787 feet, making him one of the few people to reach this abyss. But then in 2019, adventurer Victor Vescovo went even deeper, reaching 36,070 feet. So, what's down there? Well, actually, quite a bit. Researchers have discovered strange creatures that survive in total darkness without the need for sunlight. Some of these creatures have never been seen anywhere else. And the tiny microorganisms that are able to survive in such an extreme environment really just makes you wonder what the limits of life are, not just here on Earth, but out there in the universe, on other distant planets. Next up is the mystery of the yellow belly sea monster. This creature has been seen multiple times over the years. The first known sighting was in 1876 off the coast of Malaysia. Captain John K. Webster and James Anderson aboard a ship called the Nestor reported seeing a sea creature 60 to 100 feet long. It had yellow skin with a black stripe running along its spine and a tadpole-like shape, and with no fins or flippers. Another similar sighting happened in 1885 off the coast of South Africa. This time the creature was reported to be 90 feet long, with fins on each side. The most famous sighting, though, was in 1964 near Hook Island, Australia, when a family spotted a creature floating around in the shallow part of the beach. At first they thought it was dead, that when it opened its mouth and started rushing toward their boat, it was clear the thing was very much alive. They ran back to shore and the creature turned around and swam back to the deeper water. Over the years, researchers like Bernard Papelmans, often referred to as the father of cryptozoology, speculated that this creature could be a previously unknown species of shark or even an amphibian, but to this day the creature has never been identified. The Black Sea Triangle. You can pretty much bet that if you're heading to any area dubbed the such and such triangle, there's a good chance no one will ever see you again. There's the Alaska Triangle, the Michigan Triangle, the Dragon's Triangle, and of course we've all heard of the Bermuda Triangle. Bad things happen in all of these places. The Black Sea has its own triangular area of doom. Over the years, tons of planes and ships have gone missing over it, and some of the cases have never been solved. The Black Sea Triangle has become infamous for these disappearances and accidents where aircraft inexplicably crash or vanish without a trace. Ships have also gone down with entire crews lost, and no one can explain exactly why. But that's not all. The Black Sea is also known for a sea monster legend known as the Black Sea Serpent. The creature has been described in reports dating back to the 1700s. Some say it's up to 130 feet long, with a serpentine body and silvery skin. Others describe smaller versions around 100 feet long with dark greenish brown skin, and there are even reports of a 50-foot version with fins. No one can say for sure if these sightings are of the same species or if there are multiple creatures, but regardless, the Black Sea is said to be one of the most mysterious and terrifying places on Earth. Moving on to something even more out of this world, the Solomon Islands UFOs. For hundreds of years, locals on these islands have claimed to see strange lights in the sky, and even stranger, lights coming up from the ocean. Some believe there could be an underwater alien base beneath the sea. The locals also have stories of these gigantic 10-foot tall hairy creatures with flat noses and glowing red eyes that roam the islands. They've been telling of them for hundreds and hundreds of years. These creatures are said to dwell in these hidden subterranean tunnels beneath the islands, and that, combined with the UFO sightings coming out of the water, it's definitely fishy. So maybe all this sea monster and alien talk has put you off a bit. Well, if you think all that is just fantasy, well, this next point might grab you more. It definitely is not fantasy. Unexploded ordnance in the North Sea. After both world wars, countless naval mines, bombs, and other munitions were dumped into the sea, and even today, they're a very real threat. Between 1945 and 2008, at least 115 people lost their lives because of this leftover munitions. Every year, wrecks from the two world wars continue to be found in the North Sea, and many of them contain unexploded. One of the craziest examples is the SS Kelsey, a cargo ship that sank in 1946. It exploded during a salvage attempt in 1967, and the blast was felt as far away as the United States. Then there's the SS Richard Montgomery, a wreck that holds 1,400 tons of munitions. It's still just sitting in the sea. But it's not just gas is another threat. During World War I, munitions filled with mustard gas were dumped in the North Sea, and leaks of the toxic gas have been detected near the Belgian coast in recent years. It's like a ticking time bomb under the water, and every time they find unexploded ordnance, it's just a reminder of the danger still lurking below. And now we head off to the coast of Malibu. Around 6 miles off the coast of Point Dume, at a depth of around 2,000 feet, there's a strange structure. Images taken from Google Earth show a large oval-shaped object sitting on the sea floor. It has a flat top and what appears to be pillars or columns around the edge of it. Is it just a weird-looking rock formation, or could it be something more? Well, some believe it could be artificially constructed, either an underwater alien base or part of some ancient sunken city. The structure spans nearly 3 miles wide, and if you were to just show me the image without any context, I'd probably think it was some sort of ancient building. One person who is particularly intrigued by the discovery is Jimmy Church, who hosts Fade to Black, a paranormal-themed radio show. He looked at the images and immediately felt like it was an artificial structure. When you're looking at it from above, it's a nearly perfect oval shape. In the natural surroundings, nothing is symmetrical, he said. It just stands out that it has to be some type of roof. It looks like a perfect oval man-made structure sitting on a construction site. Lastly, we have a chilling story from the Gulf of Mexico, where an eerie shipwreck seems to bring nothing but bad luck to anyone who tries to explore it. ExxonMobil discovered this strange wreck while laying down a pipeline, but after that, things took a turn for the worse. When a team of researchers was sent in to investigate the wreck, they ran into one issue after another. Their exploration submarine malfunctioned just as it was about to dive, and then they had problem after problem with their equipment. Video monitors failed every time they turned on the thrusters. Sonar systems broke down, and hydraulic systems started acting up in ways that couldn't be explained. Then the Navy got involved and sent their own research submarine, but it faced the same strange issues. The sub destroyed its own rover as soon as it hit the water. When the sub finally reached the wreck, its robotic arms were too short to grab anything useful. It was as if the wreck was cursed, and everyone who tried to investigate it was met with failure in bizarre, frustrating ways. The long list of failed attempts to explore the wreck has left some wondering if there might be something truly sinister about the mysterious sunken ship. All that said, I've been your host, James, and I will catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.